Shalom, family. Shalom. Glory be to God and blessed be the Lamb forever. You know, this topic has been in my mind for 4 or 5 days now, trying to figure out from what angle or what perspective or what tangent I'm going to go at it from. And it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I heard a young man saying, he was in his mid-30s, I would think. Excuse me. He was in his mid-30s, I would think. And he was saying that how the idea of an American family is dead. Normally, I wouldn't bring up race. Yes, I will. Yes, I would. I'm lying, and I can't tell a lie. I would bring up race. I would do it instantly because this country is built, sanctioned, and maintained through Bibles, guns, and by race, racial segregation, both on a financial level, economic level, political level, sociological level, and these weirded out at times even a emotional level. They're out of here. And they all act as though it's not happening. That is what's going to drive them insane. This denial, this ability to deny what is right before their eyes. They keep telling themselves how hard they worked and that they have a right to what they have gained. But they refuse, to see the selective process in play, all based on race and gender, and sometimes religion, all of it, and they play make-believe. They play make-believe as if it is not there, and they lie to each other every day, some by omission and some by outright lying, that is not the case. That is not the case, but it is a lie. But I digress. Back to what I was saying about the young man who was saying that the idea of the family is dead. I would say to him, right off the button, from a black perspective, sir, young man, family has been dead since the 60s. It started in the 60s. And as with anything else, you can point to how it got started. You can point step by step by step by step how they have intentionally destroyed the family. They have intentionally destroyed the man. They have intentionally destroyed women, even if she doesn't see it. The system only needs their capabilities of having babies, their reproductive capabilities. And for them, that is a hedge against anything that may go wrong. But that's the simplistic nature of their thinking. It's very simplistic. Very simplistic. What did it start with? It started with feminism. All men. I'm going to show you how crazy feminism is at its base. Never mind that it was brought to you by a homosexual woman. That really shouldn't have anything to say or feel or do or even have an opinion about heterosexual life. But there she was. There she was, writing books, giving lectures about the very act of a man having sex with a woman by its very nature was violence, aggression. She's talking about the penetration of man into a woman. She's even calling that, when even it is consensual, an act of aggression. Wow. She said it. I didn't. She wrote it down, wrote books about it, gave lectures, and the women and weak men of the time all applauded. It's always over. Anyway, I'll get there later. I'll get there later. Feminism was the beginning of it. This unnatural hatred for the natural. This unnatural hatred for the natural, because they can't live or be or act natural. So therefore, something must be wrong with what mainstream of the country or the norm is. I can't be crazy. I can't be weird. I can't have mental issues. No, I can have none of those things. The problem is the rest of society, the natural order. That is the issue. And it started right there. And it started right there. Okay? But the point I'm making is that they all stood up and they all applauded. None of them had done anything other than hate and hate. They would attack things which did not harm them. And they did this throughout the 60s and throughout the 70s and mostly throughout the 80s. Throughout the 80s. And for some strange reason, black women who are in a situation that their men have never had any power over them jumped on the bandwagon. But what did I tell you about the Negro? Overwhelmingly, the Negro doesn't have an ID. So they identify with the dominant race on the right or on the left. They don't have a identity. They're not allowed to have an identity. This is why they can be renamed every 15, 20 years up until now. And they have been renamed every 15, 20 years up until now. Get what I'm saying? This has always been. But I don't want to tell you our problems. Those are personal black problems as put forth by policy, legislative action, out and out racism, burn downs, run downs, shoot downs, until the dominant race, and I hate that word, got what they wanted, irrespective of what the law stated. They have violated their own law over and over and over, and they do it even as I speak. Even as I speak, they have no regard for the law. They want you to have regard for the law, you to respect the law. But they themselves have complete callous disregard for any boundaries set by laws of man or God. End of discussion. End of discussion. So how do we, listen, look at it under this way. After feminism came what? Liberalism. Progressives. What do they feel? What do they feel? I mean, let's go right at the apple here. What do they feel? That everybody's equal. Devil be damned that guy can outrun that guy. They're still equal. Devil be damned that that guy can pick up 1,000 pounds and this one can only pick up 100. The devil be damned. Devil be damned. And on the moral scale, I mean, there's once you have made everything equal, you also have to make everything equal and equivalent to I mean acts of morality. You must involve, you must add that in. You must see that as a factor, as a variable in any discussion or any understanding that you're trying to get of what's happening now. What country goes out of its way to destroy the very foundation of itself? The very foundation of it. Man, woman, child, slave, slavery notwithstanding. Who goes out of its way to do that? Even foreign countries 15 years ago were openly laughing and asking, what's going on in America? Look, I mean, you can research this. They were making jokes about you. Foreign heads of state and their people were making jokes about you. Okay? Why? Because you're strange. You don't see yourselves as that because you're around each other every day. You're the only one who acts like you. You don't get it because the overwhelming fucking majority of you will never leave this country. Will never leave this country. And so you'll spend your entire lifetime rubbing up against this quote unquote resident and this quote unquote American all your life, all thinking the same thing, acting the same way, and from the exact same perspective, even though it's open knowledge that you have been conditioned and indoctrinated. One of the first signs of a good brainwashing is a refusal, I mean, of the subject to acknowledge that they've been brainwashed. You can set reams, boxes of information in front of them, reams and boxes, and they will still resist. But I digress. I digress. So, by the nature of equality, or the want of equality, which doesn't exist, nothing in Mother Nature is equal. Why the hell would I lock arms with someone of equal strength? I can't pull them, and they can't pull me, and we just gonna go around in a circles? Pretty damn much. Pretty damn much. But it all starts with this unnatural notion of some women of equality where there is none. The only place that you can be equal at is in your own heads. That's it. It can't be equal anywhere else. It can't be equal anywhere else. So 3 generations later, 3 generations later, okay, what do you have? Look at the landscape. Overwhelmingly, the majority of your children are born outside of wedlock. So where did that start? Where did that start? First, it started um, by force through slavery, and after centuries of slavery, they just kept on doing it, kept on doing it. Now it's just normal. But let's go back a little further, because this is a time of when man feminism was on a rampage in the 80s. I mean, man, y'all never had a chance. You never had a chance. I'm gonna go back there in just a minute, but you never had a chance, man. These were nutcases from the start. Nutcases. You give a nutcase money, he's just a nutcase with money. But to some floozy out there, that's worth her body. You get it now? Do you get it? This is a country that set out to destroy the very fabric that it was created of. And the whole idea of a family does not fit into the fabric of what this country has become. It doesn't fit. They want meat. They don't want you loving each other like that, because you will hurt somebody if they do something insultive or disrespectful toward you or your loved one. Well, they don't live like that. They see each other as meat. And they would like to see you as meat and your children. And they do. They've been feeding off your ass a good minute now. A good minute. Feeding off of you. Feeding off of you. End of discussion. And who would want to live this way? Them. Them. And the devil. Let me just tell you something. The devil hates men. The devil fears men. Period. Period. The devil fears men, while at the same time hating men. Now, don't that seem kind of weird? Don't that seem just a little bit weird? I say that to make the relative point over here. I believe in domestic violence. I said that wrong. I believe that domestic violence exists, and it does. It does. But until you get back to your natural selves, it's going to increase by design. By design. Okay? Because you're unnatural. You are nothing like the men and women of the 40s and 50s and 60s, and you think that somehow they were fogey stogie, but look at you. You don't even know who you are. They have you as a woman walking around thinking, I am my body. I don't give a damn about your body. It's a million bodies like that body. I can go to the nearest ghetto and find a body like that and a face like that, and what's the difference? None, except one is impoverished and one is not. And you think that you're better all the way up this chain than her. And anyway, it works the same thing with men. But I digress. Again, man, I keep going backwards. Listen, you're not going to maintain a family in an environment that is meant to destroy it. They need your seed. By they, I mean the devil. The devil needs your seed. He can't make his own babies. And he needs babies to become adults and sustain and maintain this system. He's already flooded the system with every possible, in terms of employment alone. In terms of employment alone, every job, 80% of the jobs that you used to do as a man, Satan has somehow figured out how to get her in there. It is to deprive you of a job, a livable job capable of supporting and maintaining a woman and child. Are you getting it now? It ain't about her ass having a job. It's about your ass not having it. Are you getting it now? While you have other men teaching her how to do your job. It's just like anything else. It's just like anything else. Now, look on the other side of that, though. You have entire industries set aside that's occupied by nobody but her. Not a man in sight. So on one side, She has set asides, and on the other side, she's made inroads into everywhere you work. Are you getting it now? Are you getting it? While at the same time, man, this is reduced into sounding, I mean, this has been, it's starting to sound like I'm anti-woman. And damn it, Jim. And I'm not. I'm just, this is the situation. This is the situation. Okay? So while you say that family is dead, yes, yes. Didn't you know they brought you the new family? And you just have to fit in. Otherwise, you need to accept this premise right here. This is the next other premise. And I got here within 20 minutes. Not bad. Here is the premise, sir. And all men who live in Babylon need to understand this. Unless you have money, you are disposable. Disposable. All they need, Satan, the system, is your muscle and your brain, because they don't think like men. They don't act like men. They don't respond like men. In a world built by men for families at a time when their attitude did not exist. So the man had a role to play. He would provide security, housing, food. You get it? You get it. Okay. So anyway, here is the premise, sir. You are disposable. I know, I know, I know. Here's a box of napkins. Take the napkins. Go ahead. And if you wanted it, I know. Go in the bathroom and cry and come back and we'll finish. Go in the bathroom, wipe your face, and clean yourself up. Clean yourself and stop that sobbing and shit and weeping. Just peace. Sir, you are disposable to the system. You are disposable to the system. Let me say this again. Men, you are disposable to the system. The only thing needed from you is your temporary muscle and your seed. I don't know why they just won't come right out and just, oh, yes, I do. Because then you would not ever have children. You would give up fully on the idea of family and relationships and things like that. But what if I told you that they already have? What if I told you the modern woman in America already have? It is you who still believe in that shit. It's been a very long time since one of them have gotten married and grown old with all of the children by one man and went to having their children having grandchildren and their grandchildren visiting their house and both the grandparents are sitting there happily married saying, come on in, grandson, granddaughters, how you doing, son? How you doing, baby? That shit don't exist no more. It don't exist. And what I mean by that is that what's left of it is negligible. Negligible. Negligible meaning it has no influence or impact on anything else because the numbers are so low. So low. Okay? And rapidly disappearing. And rapidly disappearing. You are disposable, sir. You are disposable. Your problem is you don't act like it. This has been for 20 years. You became disposable when they went to marching for homosexual rights. You became disposable when they insisted that marriage was partnership and not a institution of God. You became disposable when they decided that there was no damn different from you as the best and the brightest, and that other guy who over there just looking sexy. See what I'm saying? You became disposable. But that's not the problem. The problem is you don't act like you are. It's as with everything else that you've been taught, you act unnaturally. If something says, hey, I hate your ass, what do? You stop fucking with it. You leave. You give them space or its space. Hell, I've done it with a certain insects. I know who I am, but I also know the instinct of that insect. God put a certain instinct in them, and it take us a minute for them to recognize that I'm not gonna hurt them, and they could easily cause me a trip to the hospital, easily, easily, easily. Okay, I'd be on my way to the hospital by these very insects because they don't have to respect me because God has put in them to not trust anything on 2 feet. Sometimes four. Sometimes four. Anyway, I myself have even missed my own point. I have missed my point, and I know I have. I'm not going to even try to go back and find it. I've missed my own point. But you, sirs, oh, I know exactly where I dropped it off at now. So under successive movements and agendas, that all of them devoid of masculinity. Then they went to that level, toxic masculinity. Now, where did that start? That started back in the 80s. Man, y'all mama them was crazy. You are the parents of the hippies. I mean, you are the children of the hippies. The, you are the children of the ones who came into awareness in 1958, 1965, 1967. They were nothing but goddamn hellfire. 59, 58, who came of awareness in 71, 69, 72, 73. Okay, and then became further aware and started to influence things around them by the time they were 25. That would put you right up into the lines of 1980 in their 30s. Now, here's what they were bringing you in the 80s. They were, man, y'all have been getting beat the hell out of. Listen, in the 80s, there were at least, man, 5 to 7 different all-female oriented shows. All, not a man in sight, nothing in the audience but them. I'm telling you, blowing each other's heads up with ideology. I got to speed of this one up. Blowing their heads up with ideology. None of them have the education to really understand what they're even hearing. They didn't. That's a fact. These women are listening to the people with bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and a solid hate for all things natural. But they respect them because they were introduced as being smarter than them, up above them, never understanding that they wrote their own books. You do understand that, right? They wrote their own books. They didn't just stumble upon a book and say, oh, I had a eureka moment. This is wisdom. This is knowledge. No, they wrote their understandings of life in books and then they taught it to you. Let me say this again. They wrote their understandings of life, went to giving shit terms and names and definitions, and then they started teaching these terms and definitions, beliefs, perspectives to your ass. And you've been running with it ever since. In fact, I have a question. How much of you is you anyway? This is why I don't like talking to people. Because I can see this shit. How much of you is you? Listen, I don't want to talk to you while at the same time talking to your mama. I don't want to talk to your ass while the same at time seeing fractions and reflections of your goddamn daddy. I want to talk to you. To you. I don't want, man, and you will never get there because you don't know how to shed your skin. I've shed my skins multiple times. Should get too tight. I said this here just a year ago, sitting right out there. I gotta get out this fucking skin. I'm getting too fucking big, man. And the shit's tight. It's uncomfortable. Very. And I shed the shit out of it. I shed it. I had to scrape it off. I couldn't grow. I had reached the boundaries of what that skin could hold. It wasn't gonna just give. It's gonna suffocate my ass. I gotta get this shit off of me. It's gonna kill me. Killed by your own skin. Yeah. This is why the things that shed, they don't wait on it to bust at the seams. They started scraping on shit, rubbing on shit, because it will suffocate them. They have to create the crack or the friction or the scratch so it to start to loosen, because it will kill them if they don't. And that's real. It will kill them if they don't. Skin just don't give. Not at least not before your lungs give. Trust me, your lungs will give before your skin gives. You suffocate. It suffocates. Anyway, I'm off the beaten path. Let's get back on the path of he's out the bathroom now. Looking all better. I see you brought yourself a hot towel with you this time. Son, you disposable. I'm gonna keep hitting you with this because you need to stop looking for things that don't exist anymore. See, they made a mistake. I used to put it this way. They taught the women how to be men and didn't teach the men how to be women. Now they had a spiritual plan, but that only worked so much. Only so much, okay? The spiritual plan was then we'll put female spirits in those men. And then they won't be so insulted and feel so, what's the word I'm looking for? Put down or belittled because they still live in their natural state. They don't live in their natural state. Let me say this again. You live in your natural state. The rest of the world, America, lives in no natural state. They don't even raise their own children. Their children don't even eat real food. Look around you. How much of them is truly synthetic? Truly synthetic. And how much of your ass is truly synthetic? Let me tell you how fake you is. I know, son, this gonna upset you more. This gonna upset you more, but you might as well drink all of it. At one sitting, you may as well drink all of the poison at one. Why keep getting forced to come back to the bottle? Drink it all, take the pain, almost die, and it'll be over with. And it is gonna almost kill you. But the opposite word here is almost. In fact, it's gonna make you beg for death. but, but anyway, so we already have established that you're disposable. And I was about to tell you how synthetic you are. I know it, it starts early. You never even taste food. Hold up. I had a lot of people finna get mad at me right now. Listen, they feed your baby formula. Hold up. Hold on a minute. Hold up. Stop. They feed their babies, your babies, and this country's babies a formula. This is the beginning of your synthetic nature. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter that the person that gave birth to you have two mammary glands that was purposely put there for two reasons: give you give you nourishment and to attract men. I don't know. I don't know why men like baby bottles. I don't know what the fuck that is. You guys need to do better. You like baby bottles. Son, you got mama issues. Hey, we, you got mama issues, man. You like baby bottles. But you don't know they're baby bottles. But for some strange reason, you can't seem to take your eyes off those motherfuckers. I mean, well, you don't recognize them. Well, you don't understand, do you? You just don't get it. Those are baby bottles that you never had the opportunity to even so much as put one nipple into your mouth. and now, you've all seemed to you've all seemed to have developed this fetish with human baby bottles, mammary glands. I'm just looking at you to lighten the mood a minute, man. There you go, smile. I think even some of the women smiling. I mean, I'm just saying you have developed one hell of a fetish to have not. But I understand now. I understand. You were refused from the start. You set your eyes on them, and Mama, instantly said, "I'll be damned. I'll be damned. Mama got to go to work. Mama ain't gonna even know to get your ass started. Shit, you ain't gonna have my shit sagging. I'm telling you, it starts right there. It starts right there. Now over in Europe, wait a minute, hold up. Formula hasn't always been there. It hasn't always been there. Okay, so how did all of those babies grow into grown ass men, grown ass women in the 30s and 40s and 50s and and the 60s? Let me tell you how. When it wasn't mama's tits, it was goat's milk. If not goat's milk, carnation milk. And if not that, warm whole milk. So why, tell me again why we needed a formula. And hold on, I'm gonna show, because I haven't got to the good part. The formula they found out in about 85 or 86 was had the side effect of producing estrogen in boys. The formula produces estrogen in boys. Are you getting it, Mr. Half and Half? I know you don't like it. I know you don't want to hear this. I know. Are you going to hit me? Dude, I'll shoot you, but unball your fist. I'm not in the fighting mood. I'm in a shooting mood. Shit. So there you go. Okay, but they ain't done. No, they're not done. Over in Europe, it got so bad that the boys who were raised on mother's milk were calling the other boys soy boy. In Europe, soy boy. I know I was there. Soy boy. You know why they were calling them soy boy? Because there was an obvious difference between the boys who, an obvious physical and mental and emotional and psychological difference between those who were raised on formula and those who had been raised on a mama's tit. That's the reality. That's the reality. But hold on. And I got to hurry up here. I got about 15 minutes, give or take. Hold on. Hold on. Dab your eyes again. You, you starting to weep up and tear up. Dab your eyes. Take a deep breath. Now, while this was happening, I want you to see the 1-2 punch on your ass. The 1-2 punch. Remember what I was saying about it? It was talk show after talk show after talk show after talk show after talk show with nothing but women. What do you think they were talking about? What do you think they were talking about? Why they were talking about you when they wasn't talking about women's issues, and and what woman issue don't include your ass as a man in some way, shape, or form? What? Name one. What? What? Everything else are not issues. It's their natural state, not issues. But anyway, this is where the term toxic masculinity began in about the 80s. They went after little boys. I'm telling you, in your school systems, educational systems, in work, everywhere that they could. But let's stick with the little boys. I was watching the talk show where they had brought in a group of little boys and a group of little girls, ages 9-year-olds to 12-year-olds, and they put them in two separate rooms, and then each room had toys. Some had boy toys, and some had girl toys, teacups, doll houses, mini microwave ovens, saucers, dolls, this type of thing. And the boys had G.I. Joes and trucks. They had built a little other tent there for them. And they went in 2 hours to the girls. And they were playing like with teacups and make-believe. You better watch them. They might not be making. Anyway, then he went to the boys, and they have tore the room up and remade the room. They tore the tent down and turned it into a fort. Have flipped over furniture and was hiding behind it. This what boys do. And the lady said, aha, that's the problem right there. That is the problem. Do you see the difference? Lady, may I say something to you? It is those very men who keep your ass alive every day. It's those little boys that start out like that and that have been tricked to go out and fight wars, lay their life down from the people who would rather have them be something different, never understanding that if they're something different, then you won't survive. But they don't want the package deal. They want to pick apart the package. They don't want the man. They want what the man provides, not the man per se. And I'll be right back at the devil, ain't we? We right back at the devil, ain't it? This is his world. And I have left out so much. So much. This is his world. Okay? He fears men. He fears men. A natural woman could not look at a burly ass man with rough ass hand and a deep ass voice working his ass off and say, that is toxic. No, unnatural women do, not natural women. And they have dispersed the natural woman. Here's how they did it. I was there. I seen it with my own eyes. First they went after virgins. These women going after each other and their children. Women going after each other and their children who were female. I'm telling you. I am telling you. So you got one generation who did what they did, and they became what they became. But then they have the opportunity to raise children. Some of them are are young girls. Some of them are young girls. And the young girls end up living the life of their mothers. This is the reality. The mother will not have it any other way. If you think that I'm, stop, Daryl, stop. Let me just put it this way. Like a woman said to me, a older lady, she had told me several of the things about men and women. Just sitting on a bench, sitting by the old lady, and she just went to goddamn the talking. First thing that she had asked me was to see my hands. I showed her my hands, and she say that you ain't done no hard work. I mean, that kind of old lady. Read your ass as soon as you walk up. Know everything. You ain't got to tell her nothing. Don't have to tell her nothing. Well, she had told me several things. One of the things was a woman is never going to tell her her sons everything that he should know about women. This is out of a woman's mouth of 80 years old. Don't get mad at me, and you can't get mad at her because she already passed. Even if I gave your name and the address of her grave, the best you could do is go stomp on it and shake your fist and curse at it. That's a fact. That was the first thing that that she told me. The second thing was there is no more good women. What she would term good women. Okay, that shit's over. It's over. I don't say these things to harm women. No, but you and everyone else have a right to happiness. You should not be wasting time. Life is too short for anyone. You should not be wasting 1 minute unless it is advancing you or unless you are learning from it or you are teaching someone. Something needs to be gained here. Something needs to be gained. And in Western culture, things like marriage and child rearing have become dangerous, threatening to men. Finally, maybe you're starting to react like you should now. And like you should is they don't need you. You are disposable. They are surrounded by lust-filled whoremongers. She will always have an option to go to the fastest runner, biggest driver, finest guy, nicer car. And all she has to do is say, this is what I'm gonna do. She is under under no contract to not do anything. And that's why she married. None. And this society promotes it. So over time, everything is now wrecked. Men don't trust women. Women hate men. Well, they have a reason to now, largely because men don't want them like that. Okay, and they don't. At this point, I doubt that the female species in America knows how to right themselves because they're doing it by themselves now. Most of them don't even have fathers in the home to help them right it. So they're bonding with their mothers, no man in sight. And what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? The same reasons why she's in that house alone with a mother with no man will be the same reasons why she fucking repeats the same process. Are you getting it? It's not their fault. It is the, I won't even lay blame. I won't lay blame. Because again, this is not a anti-woman thing. These are just realities that we all need to look at. And I'm sure I'm trying to toe the line, but I am trying to toe the line because overall, women, the women have advanced me more than the men have. So I'm often always reminded of that. It's far more harder for a woman to stay clean than a man ever could. Okay? So when I meet these types of women, they get my full fucking attention. My full attention and all my respect. And I listen. To the rest, I just hear them. I just hear them. I mean, I'm gonna respond to all that, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. But back to where we were. Have you accepted the fact that you are disposable and that you should no longer seek out wives? If you have in mind wife for lifetime, becoming grandparents, and growing and getting old together with no problems, nobody cheating, no affairs, that's not going to be. I don't know why they're going to tell you that. Well, once again, I do. Because if they tell you this, you're not going to get involved with them in the first place. And that's when they'll start calling you gay and strange and weird. But you're not. You are out to survive. To survive. Your seed is valuable. Your seed is valuable. It is literally better off inside of you than in the hands of someone who would disrespect it, who would dishonor it. It just is. It's about survival because this is, again, your seed being your child. And in this country, she can have full control of your child just by birthright, just by sociological principle, which makes no sense. If I was to ask you, and I'm going to wrap this up right here because, it could go on a whole nother hour because there's so much and I'm skipping a lot because I don't want to, I'm not trying to make any more. Yes, I am. I need as many haters and enemies as I can get. I mean, I'm still looking for extra haters and extra enemies. But I'm just saying that's not the motive this morning. That's not the motive this morning. We are being forced to relive over and over and over that bullshit that came in the 80s. Okay? And the late 70s. Okay? That's what's going on. And they're teaching it to you. As children, the girls are raised one way and the boys are raised a whole different way. Let me have to show you, man. Anyway, and it is deeper than you think. It goes further than you ever think. It is schemed out, it is planned, and it is plotted out. Not by them, but by the quote-unquote powers that be. They fear natural families for the reasons that I put forth. If you invade a natural family and you assault one of its members, the rest of the family is finna tear that ass up. Period. Well, they don't like that. These are sinners. They are going to do something wrong. They are going to violate your relationship. They are going to violate your sensibilities. And they already know this. They don't want to die for it. They think it's blatantly unfair that they die for violating you. They do. That is too far for them. To them, for example, it's just sex. Why they so mad? Why boom, 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 boom? And the rest of them see this shit and they're shocked. Damn, it was just sex. He cheated or she cheated and there's two people dead. But what if I told you this was routine in the 60s, routine in the 70s, In fact, I can go so far. I guarantee you that your grandmother, depending on age, if she's in her 70s, late 60s, she knows someone who was shot down dead either in a motel room cheating or the club parking lot cheating. That's a fact. That is a fact. Okay? But for them and the other cheater who violating your relationship, your livelihood, your life, they don't think that is something that they should die for. That's why they went after removing the man. Get rid of the man. He is designed to beat you into a pulp if you violate him. He knows not any other way. Get rid of the man. Use formula. Use brainwashing. Use subversion. Use indoctrination. We don't give a damn how we do it. We will use chemicals. We will use spells. We will use witchcraft. We will call in the demons. Exactly. Now you're getting it. How do you feel? I bet you feel beset from all sides. That's because you are beset from all sides. So here's what you got to do. You got to figure out your own plan here. You're going to have to go at your 12 and 3 and 6 and 9 simultaneously. Simultaneously. Now, on each of these points should lie a label like psychological, spiritual, political, economics, or finance. Each of these has to be guarded. And in the middle of it lie you and your seed. The most important thing in your body is to give this world another version of you. Anybody violate it, may I suggest that they catch hot flying lead. Enjoy the rest of your morning. I am Source. I am 7. I am 1.